There we go. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to Aspire to Inspire Live, episode 14. This week we bring you Justin Prime. In case you guys don't know who he is, which you probably do, he is the guy who produced Cannonball with Showtek and did a very, very good job with that track and got a lot of recognition for it. So welcome, Justin. We're happy to have you on Aspire to Inspire, and we're looking forward to hearing you.
How you guys doing?
All right, so I guess the first thing that we'll talk about today is I really wanted to go in depth about how you have lost several loved ones that are very close to you. For instance, you lost your grandfather just a few years ago, and I kind of wanted to I wanted you to talk about your relationship with him, and also how that loss has really impacted your life so far. So I know, for instance, he taught you how to play the piano, so he's had a really big impact on your music career, and he was always around for you. And so I guess, how old were you when he did die, and how did he die, I guess, first of all?
Well, that's a heavy topic to start with. Let me, straight away, here we go. All right.
It'll get happier, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, well, it was in 2012. Back then, I was 25 or 20, 25, 26, gaining 26. Yeah, it was pretty messed up. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a really hard period in my life. And for some people, it's like, it's my grandfather died or my grandmother. And it's like, they're like, oh, it's okay, but I had a really, really good bond with my grandfather, and we were always together, and he was like, actually my father lived in America, so he was like a sort of like grandfather / father figure to me. Mm-hmm. So we were always together, and I always came to visit him almost every day, and we played piano together at his place and talk about music and stuff, and he always knew every show I did. So yeah, that was really a hard time for me, especially like seeing him pass away in the hospital. That was something that was really, really hard. But yeah, then again, now I'm sort of okay with it. But yeah, I mean, that's life. It's only sometimes I miss him really really bad, like when you achieve something in music, or it was that time which I mentioned in the interview, I think, when I got that recognition, when I received my first golden records and my platinum record, and that's something that I really wanted to show him, and then he wasn't around anymore, and I was like, darn, man, like he would be so proud of it, and then all my international tours were starting to kick off, and that's also something I couldn't share with him anymore, because he was following me for every single gig. And back then I was playing hardstyle, and he was like, where did you play this weekend? I was like, I played here in a little venue, a little place in the Netherlands. And then a month later I had another show, and he was talking to my grandmother, like, he's been doing this for like 10 years. Why isn't he like getting his recognition yet, And she's like, I don't know, he's trying to, and then like 1 year after he passed away, I got my golden records and stuff, and I got like, I don't know, like 15, 20 shows a month, and then it all started to happen. And then, like my best friend in music, he wasn't there anymore to share it with, and there were like people around me, like family, friends, they were like, hey, great, or whatever. But the person who really followed me in my whole career, who really mattered to me to share it with, he wasn't there anymore. And that was for me, that was a really hard time. Yeah.
And so for you, it wasn't just, I mean, it wasn't just your grandfather. It was really like you were losing a very close family member and also your best friend, pretty much, and the person who really understood your music career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And so, do you feel like you went through a lot of different phases, I guess, like different emotions throughout that time? Because, you know, some people for a while, they may be very sad about it, and then eventually like they overcome it, and not overcome it, but they move forward, and they just they develop a sense of peace, I guess. So would you say that you kind of are in that like more peaceful stage right now then?
Um, yeah, I'll have to say I'm in a more I have more peace right now with this. Only the funny thing is that it's like a sort of peace which like um, you can function during the day and just go on with your life, you know. But it's like it's still it will never go away. That's
Mm-hmm.
something I discovered. It's like when you really really love someone and you just go on because you have to go on. You know, it's like a self protection thing. Otherwise, you'll go nuts or something. You know, but it will never go away. And this made me be aware of the fact that I don't think a human being is made to lose their loved ones. I think we're not really programmed for that, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I became pretty much aware of that though. But I mean, like I told you before, it's okay right now, but I'm back. The only thing is, yeah, it will never go away for nobody. You just have to live with it. And that's life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What lessons, what really important lessons did you take away from not necessarily the passing of your grandfather, but honestly just like from your grandfather in general?
From my grandfather, like in like daily life, or what have I learned from him passing away?
Either. Honestly, you can talk about what you just kind of learned from him in your daily life. Like maybe he taught you a lot about, I don't like obviously he taught you a lot about music, but maybe more just like personal things that, you know, life is tough and you just kind of have to like suck it up and get over the hardships that you go through, or you know, any
For as being like as a human being, like the stuff he taught me. Um, to start with, he really taught me to not by telling me, but by showing me to leave people, let them be the way they are.
Mhm.
Um, if somebody is different than another person or has a different religion or a different opinion, don't push yours on them. You know, let people be.
Right.
And I think this is he was really respectful to other people, and he had a really open mind to other people. And I think this is a key for like I don't know, like universal peace or something, you know, like
Mhm.
maybe with your friends or maybe with your family. For example, if you have 10 family members, there's always the other one is different than the other one, and the other one is different than the other one. And he always made it work. Like he accepts everybody who they are, and that's something that I've learned from him actually by watching him, and that's something I'm doing too. I'm trying to accept everybody who they are, and just let them be, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and another thing is on what was your other question, by the way?
I think I guess like the other question could be what
So
did like losing him, like what did you learn from losing him?
yeah, well, the funny thing is, it's not. really like what I've learned, but more uh, like looking in the mirror and telling myself like, yeah, you were there, you know. Like a lot of people are, telling themselves, it's like, I wish I had more time. I wish I've been there more, like regrets or something. I don't have regrets because I was there all the time, and he knew what's up, you know. Like he knew I really cared about him, and so I um, the only thing I regret is the fact that I didn't had more time. But who doesn't, you know? Um, so the thing I've learned is actually the thing I discovered I already did. Like what most people say, spending more time, spending time with your loved ones is more important than anything. Uh, I already did that. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think a very like important thing that you mentioned earlier was you really talked about how your grandfather was so accepting of everyone. And I even remember in your responses, like to the email interview, you were talking about how you meet so many different people while you're on tour. You know, you meet people from all different walks of life. And so it sounds like that's really carried over, that lesson that from your grandfather is really carried over from that to now your music career as well, because, you know, you're very accepting of all the people you meet. And there's just so many different cultures in our dance music scene. I loved your quote, music is the universal language. That was really powerful for me because I think music just speaks to everyone and it's so powerful. And so why do you think that music is so powerful?
Well, actually, I said music is the universal language and it can explain itself. For
Yeah,
example, it's that powerful because I'm just gonna throw something up here, but
go for it.
for example, if I walk in the door and there's I don't know, uh, um, this sounds really harsh, but I don't mean it like that. But I walk in the door. There's a white guy coming in the door. There's a black guy coming in the door. There's a Muslim coming through the door. There's a Christian coming through the door. There's whatever coming through the door. We're all like, "Hey, what do you play? Bass. Hey, what do you play? Piano. What do you play? Sax. All right, man. Let's do it. You know, let's kick it. You know, this all of this doesn't exist, which exists in society though, but it doesn't exist in the studio. It's
Right.
all about the music, and that's what the music does. Music unites people. It unites crowds, like EDM parties or rock parties or whatever. It doesn't matter. It unites crowds and it unites artists, musicians. It unites people. It's
Yeah.
really strong, and that's what I meant with that quote.
Okay. Well, no, that I think that's a very impactful quote, like I said. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know, when you said that, I was just like, wow, that's literally the perfect way to describe music. And I'd never heard anyone said that before. I really do appreciate you saying that quote. Okay, so another thing that you kind of talked about was when you're on tour, not only do you see these people who are of different cultures or different backgrounds, but sometimes you also see people who are, I guess, like less fortunate than you. You know, they might not have as much money or the food that you have. You know, they don't have those basic needs. So I guess, like, you know, a lot of people do sometimes just look the other way. Like they'll pass, you know, a homeless person by on the street and they just kind of pass them by and don't really say anything. So what is it that makes you stop, you know, stop and talk to these people or stop and give something to these people? Because you could totally just walk the other way too, but it sounds like you actually do want to stop and help them.
Um,
Sorry, that's a lot of words.
I I think it's humanity. I mean, um, normally I don't really talk about it. Like I give a political correct answer, but you like I don't know for this time that the question you asked me, I I decided to go straight forward with this. But it's I mean I don't know, it's humanity, and it's like, it's how I am as a person. Like, I could never, I could never leave people like that. For example, there was a old woman sitting on the ground, and she was around, I think, 80, something like that. And I saw people just going around her, walking around her, and not even looking to her. And I was like, how can everybody do this? You know, that's crazy. So I gave her some money. And I mean, you also have a lot of scams in the world. Like, for example, in India, I've heard that there are multiple scams with children, which they try to rip money from you, and then they get a little commission from it, etc., etc. But I mean, I don't really care. Most of the time, if people come to me and they ask for money, I give it to them, just to be sure. That's a lesson somebody once told me. He said, it's better to receive, better to give than better to receive. Give to anybody who asks. And so I do. When somebody asks me something, if I have it, I share it. So that's basically, that's all. That's what we all should do. I mean, for example, I was in Indonesia on tour a few months ago, and that's a whole different story. There was a couple, and they had to pay the taxes, and there was like a sort of final customs right in front of the plane, and they had to pay, like, I think it was like $50 or $100 a person, somewhere in between, and they didn't have it. And so this guy told them they had to go back to the ATM and get the money, and they had like 5 minutes before the gate closed. But I knew the ATM was 20 minutes walking. They would never make it because I got my money from that ATM. So I walked towards them and I told them, okay, I don't remember, I gave them like between 100 and $200, something like 150 US dollars. I said, here you go, this is yours. And they were like, is this guy going to put drugs in our suitcases or whatever, or what he wants from us, you know? And I was looking to them, and I was like, no, it's yours, just keep it. And they were like, what do you want? Why would you do this? And I told them, that's what anybody should do. That's the problem with society. Everybody only takes. You know, you have to give something back to people. And then one day, if you need something, maybe somebody gives something back to you. That's how it works.
Yeah, and it's honestly unfortunate that people, I guess, have to assume that, you know, something bad is going to happen from a nice act, because nice acts are sometimes few and far between, and that's just very unfortunate. I wish that they happened more. And I know you talked about too, you wanted to basically, I know in the future you want to start some sort of a charity foundation. Can you tell us more about that? I don't know if you have like a plan for it or anything, but.
No, not really. Not really. I don't really have a plan for it. I was just mentioning it like, this is while we were talking about all of this stuff, and you asked me these questions in the pre-interview. I was just thinking about, well, it's funny, the fact that I always wanted to start a sort of foundation, but I don't really know which direction yet, and I don't really know when yet. It was always a big plan for me, like when I'm more established in my career, and it's possible to fund it from my career. I know one DJ who already does it, and I think that's terrific. It's someone who has a foundation for children in Indonesia, and you make sure that like around 30 to 50 children can go to school, and he pays their education, their home, their food, their clothes until they're 18, and then they can go into society and have a good life, you know. I think that's really great, things like that. So I'm not quite sure yet in which direction. And but it was just I was just thinking out loud, like while you're mentioning it, it's something I want to do in the future. Maybe in a few years from now. I'm not quite sure yet when, but I will.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, it's good to have a start to that at least. Like, I mean, I'm glad you thought of that because that's definitely a good start. So I guess aside from that, in your future, what are some of your big goals and or plans for your music career?
Well, I've been touring a lot the last few years, and um, I still release music, but I haven't released as much music as I wanted to because I toured a lot. And my plan is for this year to make more music in the studio, and on a longer scale, I want to become a bigger DJ, a bigger producer, and also work with bigger artists. For example, in the past, I've worked with guys like Chesto, Bono from U2, did official remixes for people like Rihanna, Rita Ora, Iggy Celia, Flo Rida. But I actually also want to work with these people on original songs. So that's also a goal which I want to do in the future. I want to work with these Billboard artists and work with them on my own songs, but also produce songs for them behind the scenes. Something I've been doing now a few times, but I want to keep doing that on a longer, a larger base,
Right.
larger scale. So yeah, those are some of my plans, and
Okay.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. That's the right
That's
mindset.
my goal.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we have time for one or two fan questions. So let me scroll through real quick.
No questions.
No questions?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Oh, I was like,
I'm not even looking. Let me see if
pulling it up right now.
let me load my Twitter.
Well, here's where I'm confused. It's not showing questions for any of our past features either when they all used to have questions. Maybe they... Yeah, like all of our old features used to have like the questions still on this hashtag, but they don't even have those anymore. Oh boy.
Yeah.
You seeing any?
No, let me see. Nope. Well, it's around 240 in Europe, so
See, I always
maybe
think about that.
that's a funny thing. Like, if you should watch my inbox, it's like hundreds of questions and demos and how do you do this and tips and tricks and that. Now I take the time, and now you guys are probably sleeping. What's up with you? Well, you must check that.
And the funny thing too is like we always say tweet, so like obviously it means Twitter, and then sometimes like people will either put their questions on YouTube or they'll put their questions on like Facebook instead, and so like we don't even see them until after the live stream. It's like
So that was mean. I had it last time. Yeah, but they should do it on Twitter. I mean, you were clear on that. Sometimes they do it on YouTube, but all right.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess do you have any like final thoughts or words or, you know, just some advice for anyone listening?
Well, to start with, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. And to the viewers, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me on my Facebook. It's facebook.com/JustinPrimeMusic. Also check me out on soundcloud.com/JustinPrimeMusic and twitter.com/JustinPrime. That's it, actually.
Okay. All right. Well, it's been awesome having you. And like I said, I appreciate you just sharing your story and going deeper with us. It really does mean a lot. And I think, your fans appreciate it. And also just anyone watching, whether this is the first time they've ever heard you or heard about you, it's just crazy to see the fan reaction to these episodes. And I'm just really, really glad that you took some time out and were able to go deep with us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you very much for having me, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, sounds good. See you next time. All right, so our next live stream will be on Wednesday, May 13th with Fractal, and Justin Prime's episode will be uploaded to our YouTube channel immediately after the stream. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, Justin.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.